you can see like my notes on it that will kind of help you with your analysis. So if you will go ahead and write your name on, you just picked up two sheets today. So pick up, write your name on both. All right. Anybody heard of Susan B. Anthony? What was she known for?
Like women's rights.
Yeah. Don't laugh when you say like women's rights. But yes, so she's known for the suffrage, for being one of the main leaders in the suffrage movement for women. And so we're going to start here. Now I have a question. Do you want me to read it, the whole thing, and then go back paragraph through paragraph and analyze it? Or do you want me to read a paragraph and then analyze it and annotate it then? Are we good with that? Read and go? Okay. So this is your speaker. So remember when I walked you through annotating like the that generation, the lost generation? That's kind of what I'm going to do with you here. So your speaker, we know that she is like a, obviously female, but she's a leader of the women's rights movement. Anybody know when women got the right to vote?
1920s.
Yeah, like 1920. I think it is like 1920. So in 1920 we gained the right to vote. All right, so this took place, we call it like the rhetorical situation, but we'll talk about it. So the situation of this is, it is after she was arrested. For voting. So think how kind of like brave and bold she has to be a female during this time period that's just walking into the voting booth and voting, right? Because she did not have the right. She was arrested for that, and then she was let out, and then even after that, she still spoke out about it, right? So that's obviously, like society-wise, not something that women should be doing. All right. What I am going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to number our body paragraphs because it'll make it easier for us to talk about it. So friends and fellow citizens is 1. This is all blocked inside paragraph 1. So it was we is 2. For any state is 3. To them, that is 4. What do we call these things down here? Do you know what those are? Yeah, so these are footnotes. And so in a lot of text, you'll have footnotes given to you, and it either does have definitions sometimes, but it can also be an explanation. Sometimes if there's like a reference to like a Bible verse or a story that you may not be aware of, that could be in there. So that's what we're looking at for those footnotes, right? So whenever we read it, we stop and look down below to see what those footnotes are. So to them, this government is 4. Webster is 5. The only question is 6. And then notice we have even more footnotes down here. All right. Let's start. All right. The one thing I look at is this is the title, right? So this is the title of her speech. But this is also going to be her like purpose for speaking out. Oh, sorry. Y'all just remind me because sometimes I start writing off screen. This speech was actually given in 1873. So almost what? Almost 50 years?
Yeah. 60.
47? So think about like kind of how like forward thinking she was during this time period. All right, I have a couple of you that have your computers out. If y'all will be ready, because I'm going to ask for some definitions as we read. So I'll read a paragraph and then we'll go back and analyze. Actually, let's start. Have I talked to y'all about like how to find words that we don't know in a passage? Yeah, by going backwards. So if I'm going backwards, I'm going to start like down here because this is part of paragraph 1. I'm going to look up the ordained, posterity, tranquility, justice, alleged, indictment. All right. Who has computers? Jack, you can open up yours too. Okay. So will you look up indictment and then ordain? And Parker, will you look up alleged and posterity? Who else? Ethan, will you look up justice? Then Jack, will you look up tranquility? Indictment. INDICT. Yeah. I like to always I don't like to go the whole thing. I like to just do little sections. So once you have your definition, just go ahead and tell me what it is and we'll decrease it a little bit. Which one do you have? Okay.
It's a formal accusation that a person has committed a crime in jurisdiction that.
That's good. Accusation of a crime. So indictment is an accusation of a crime.
Alleged is said without proof. Said.
That works. Said without proof.
Justice is just behavior.
Okay, can you go to what just means? And it'll probably be like the second definition. Because I like to not define the word with the word.
Based on or behaving according to what is morally fair. Correct.
Behaving. Based on behaving what? What is considered?
Behaving what is morally right and fair.
Okay.
Did you say that or was it a name?
Yeah. Considered moral. What was the last part?
Right and fair.
Okay. So justice is based on behaving, based on what is considered morally correct, right, and fair. Okay. Tranquility. Did I give that to anybody? Jack, were you? Oh, what's tranquil?
State of peace and calm.
Okay.
Ordained means order or decree officially.
Is it decreed or just decree?
Order or decree.
Okay. Officially.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Posterity. This is one that we see over and over again.
All future generations of people.
Okay. So especially if you have to read like an older piece or a really technical piece, going through and finding words first that you don't know will help you to better understand what you're reading instead of getting to it. And what we end up doing, what do you usually do when you get to a word you don't have a dictionary or computer to look it up? What do you usually do when you get to a word that you don't know? What do y'all do? Stare at it. Okay, that doesn't get us very far. Context clues, if we can't use a dictionary. Break it down like if you have a root word or a prefix or a suffix. Most of y'all, those are all smart methods. Most of us just skip it and move forward, right? All right, here we go. Friends and fellow citizens, I stand before you tonight under indictment for the alleged crime of having voted at the last presidential election without having a lawful right to vote. It shall be my work this evening to prove to you that in thus voting, so in voting, I not only committed no crime, but instead simply exercised my citizen's right, guaranteed to me and all United States citizens by the national Constitution beyond the power of any state to deny. So we're looking at, I like to look at words that are repeated. So we know that this is her, like, this is what we would call her thesis. This is like her purpose, right, of her argument. So she is arguing something. So she is arguing that two things. What are the two things that she's arguing? One thing is she didn't do anything wrong. And then the second thing she's arguing is why she didn't do anything wrong was because what?
It's a right.
It's a right to who? Citizens. Because there's no right to vote for women right now, right? So citizens is what we're looking at. So that's what this would be the number one thing that she wants to do. And then exercising her right is the number two thing. The preamble of the federal Constitution says, we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. What does domestic mean?
Inside America.
Yeah, inside here. Ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So this is her, like, foundation of her argument. So the foundation of our argument is based in a document that how do we feel like as Americans, like what do we feel about, well, during the 1870s, like what do we feel about our Constitution? That what? She's going to argue part of that, but what? Yeah, I mean, like that's the document that like created our country, right? So we are proud of it. She thinks it's broken. Okay. It was we the people, not we the white male citizens, nor yet we the male citizens, but we the whole people who formed the Union. Ooh, I need words. Sorry. Ballot, democratic, securing, denied, enjoyment. Let's do mockery. Gavin, will you look that one up? We already know what posterity means. So the other thing that I do when I'm reading a passage, if in like the first 3 or 4 paragraphs I see a certain word repeated over and over and over again, I define it because I know I need to absolutely understand that definition. I think that's all. So what's mockery, Gavin?
Teasing and contemptuous language or behavior directed at a particular person or thing.
Contemptuous means like you are, is it O-U-S? Contemptuous.
CONTEMPTUOUS. There's 2 U's.
O-U-S. So contemptuous means like you're like scorning, like you're laughing at someone, right? Like you're making fun of them, but it's a specific person. Okay. Why is this important? It was we the people. What is she referencing in the we the people? Yeah. So this is a fact, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Not, so this is going to be a contrast in here. Not we, the white male citizens. Why is she arguing that?
Because white male citizens are the ones that have rights to vote.
Yep. nor yet, so also not, right? We, the male citizens. So now we're going from white male to just male, right? So again, those are the voters. So those can vote. So whenever I read stuff like this and when we get into annotations, I think I did this in the Lost Generation, that I hearted like conjunctions. So here I'm going to heart the but, because it's a contrast. No, nobody else is laughing at that, because that's what ninth graders do. So but is going to show a contrast. So these things, but what it does do. We, the whole people. Again, why is she mentioning whole?
Because it's everybody.
It's everybody, yep. Who formed the union. So why is she saying, like, it's we the people who formed the union? What is she talking about?
Everyone.
Well, formed the union of like our country, right? Like, so when the settlers came over from Europe, everybody worked to gain freedom, not just men, not just white men. It was all of us that worked to create the country. So she's saying in there that everyone created the country. Do you need me to make it any bigger? My writing's getting a little small. And we formed it. What is the it? The country, yep. Not to give the blessings of liberty. What does like blessings of liberty mean? Yeah, they're freedoms, they're rights, right? That we have been blessed with because God blessed us with the trip and with the journey and with this country. So, not to give the blessings of liberty, but to secure them. So notice the difference in give and secure. What's the difference?
One's getting it, one's getting rid of it, or like removing it.
Yeah, so one is like distributing it, right? So giving means you're going to distribute it, right? And securing means to keep, so we're all going to keep it, right? So this is like only certain people can give the blessings of liberty, but again, this is the contrast to secure them, meaning to keep them. So you're kind of, I mean, like I see what you're saying, like you're kind of right? Like give them away, or everybody has them and holds on to them. Not to the half of ourselves and the half of our posterity, but to the whole people, women as well as men. Remember, she said two of her purposes was that she did not commit a crime, and that, what was the other one? She's proving that she did not create a crime or commit a crime because those rights are secured to everybody, to citizens. So now what is she doing? She's kind of leading us through why she considers herself to be a citizen, right? So, but to secure them not to the half of ourselves and the half of our posterity, and that references who? Who are the half? Men. Yep. And half of our posterity, like generations to come, again, only men. It is a downright mockery to talk to women of their enjoyment of the blessings of liberty while they are denied the use of the only means of securing them provided by this Democratic Republican government, the ballot. So Democratic Republican doesn't mean like what it does now, right? Like a division of sides, really. All right, so what is she saying in there? It is a downright mockery to talk to women of their enjoyment of the blessings of liberty. So what are people telling women at this time? Like, okay, you can't vote, but what?
You should be happy.
You should be happy. You're free.
You should be happy that you're free, but you really aren't free.
Yeah, because she said the only way that we can keep those blessings of liberty is through the ballot. right? So the only way that we can keep our freedoms is if we are allowed to vote, if we have any voice in the government. We already have posterity, withheld, supreme law, ex post facto is footnoted down there, bill of attainder is footnoted down there. Will somebody look up disenfranchisement? And somebody look up qualification.
Disenfranchisement is the state of being deprived of a right or privilege, especially the right to vote.
Qualifications, a quality or accomplishment that makes someone suitable for a particular job or activity.
All right, hold on. Deprived of a right or what was the second part of that? Deprived of a right or privilege.
Especially the right to vote.
Okay. So disfranchisement is deprived of the right or privilege. What did you say qualification was?
A quality or accomplishment that makes someone suitable for a particular job or activity.
So I'm just writing down quality that makes someone
Suitable.
suitable. Okay, so what is she going to base her whole argument of why she didn't commit a crime? Her whole argument is based in what? The idea that
That she's a citizen.
she's a citizen. So that's going to be her whole argument, is to prove why currently she is considered not a citizen, but she should be. All right. For any state to make sex a qualification that must ever result in the disfranchisement of one entire half of the people is to pass a bill of attainder. So this is why we have the definitions down below, right? This is an act of legislature declaring a person or group of persons guilty of some crime and punishing them, often without a trial. So she didn't even have a trial. She was seen voting. They hauled her off to jail, right? So one entire half of people is to pass a bill of attainder or an ex post facto law. It's a law that retroactively changes the legal consequences of actions that were committed or relationships that existed before the enactment was law. So this would be the idea that somebody acted in a certain way and there's nowhere in the law that it says that that's illegal. And then the government decides, well, we're going to make that legal. And if you've ever done it before now and you've been caught, we're going to go back and put you in jail for doing it 10 years ago because we're doing it prior to. And is therefore a violation of the supreme law of the land. The supreme law of the land is what? What are our laws based off? Yeah, the Constitution, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So you can see that the Constitution is like her foundational like evidence that she's going to use. By it being the Constitution. By it, the blessings of liberty are forever withheld from women and their female posterity. So, because the current interpretation so who is making this current interpretation of like women not being citizens? Men. Yeah. So men are interpreting this way. So as long as men have this ability to not see us as citizens, we'll never have a voice in our country. Okay. Now I need some more definitions because we're getting into some harder ones. I'm going to start here. Oligarchy. We see that quite a bit. Aristocracy. We see that quite a bit. Democracy, republic, and consent. Consent's a key word that we need to understand the definition of. All right. Who's going to look up consent and oligarchy? Okay, Parker. And then who's going to look up democracy and and oligarchy? Okay. And then aristocracy. Got it. Okay. All right.
Oligarchy is a small group of people having control of a country, organization, or institution.
Okay. So my first definition is oligarchy, which is pretty important. You probably see that that language mentioned a lot in like news, but I don't know how much y'all watch the news. Small group of people that have control over the country and institution. People have said it for, the last 50, 60 years that we are no longer a democracy, we're an oligarchy, right? And it's like rich white men are the ones that like control our country. Okay, so we have oligarchy. What else? You might have aristocracy. Did I give that to anybody?
Yeah, the highest class in certain societies, especially those holding hereditary titles for offices.
Okay, so highest class of society. So I know there's AP Human. That's freshman year. What's the equivalent history freshman year? World history? Okay, so AP Human is AP Human Geography, right? Okay.
Yeah, no, freshman year, the history was world geography.
Oh, World Geo.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
And then sophomore was?
that was world history.
Okay. So y'all probably learned in world history, right? Like the idea of like an aristocracy, right? So we've seen that. Okay. What about republic? What's a republic?
A state in which supreme power is held by the people and elected representatives.
Okay, supreme power held by people and elections. Democracy is what?
Democracy is a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representatives.
Okay. So, system of government by the whole population. Okay, I have a very special place for defining consent because it is a key word that we need to understand.
Permission for something to happen or agreement to do something.
Permission for something to happen. It's probably a good definition for us to know. On the back. Oligarchy, oligarchy, oligarchy. Okay. So, you ready? To them, this government has no just powers derived from the consent of the governed. Who is the them? The men, yeah. Oh, no. No, sorry. Sorry, it's the women. Oop. Because we look at, to them, this government has no just power derived from the consent of the governed. So the government has no power because it came from the governed, and do women feel like they are giving their consent for the government to act this way? Right. So this is that separation. To them is the women. To them, and we see that repetition, right? This government is not a democracy. It is not a republic. Ooh, anybody have their computer out still do odious?
Extremely unpleasant, repulsive.
I'm going to go, I like the repulsive. R-E-P-U-L?
R-E-P-U-L-S-I.
P-E, okay. It is an odious aristocracy, so it is the government, right? It is an odious aristocracy, a hateful oligarchy of sex. So why would it be a repulsive aristocracy? Why would women see the government as like an aristocracy?
It's one-sided.
Yeah, it's one-sided, okay? All right, a hateful oligarchy of sex. So where we said an oligarchy means like a small group, this small group is determined by gender, okay? So I'm just going to write down determined by gender. The most hateful aristocracy ever established on the face of the globe. So she's saying like there are other parts around the world that have oligarchies, but women still have a voice, right? Everybody still has a voice. Where the rich govern the poor, there's our oligarchy. It's also an oligarchy of learning. So we have an oligarchy of sex. We have an oligarchy of wealth. We have an oligarchy of learning. So she's starting to define the groups that she feels in this country that have all the power, and each one of those she's relating to men, right? An oligarchy of learning where the educated govern the ignorant. Or even an oligarchy of race, where the Saxon rules the African, which might be endured. Endured is to be like lived through. What'd you say?
Survive.
Yeah. I mean, and that's not great to like just be like you're just surviving. You're enduring. It means like you don't really have a choice, that you have to like kind of like y'all in this class, right? But this oligarchy of sex, which makes fathers, brothers, husbands, sons. So notice that is all male. The oligarchs, so oligarch meaning over the mothers and sisters, the wife and daughter of every household. So who are they saying rules at home in the house?
Man.
Yep. I'm almost done. Which ordains, what does it mean to ordain something? Who's ordained? Do we have ordained on the other side? Who do we think of when we think of ordained? Like ministers, yeah. So ordained is like to allow, yeah, like to name, to place, right? All men sovereigns, so kings. Men are kings of the household, and all women subjects. This carries dissension, discord, and rebellion. What's dissension mean? To what? Well, we're like when she says dissension, discord, and rebellion, that there's three separations there. Jack, will you look up rebellion? Ethan, will you look up discord? Are you looking at
Disagreement that leads to discord. That's what dissension is.
disagreement? That's what discord is?
Yeah, discord is a disagreement.
Okay. What is dissension?
Disagreement that leads to discord.
Give me the real definition. Is that it?
Yeah,
That's
So-
what it says.
that's what I read.
So, cause I would think dissension is like it's this is step by step. Dissension is like a separation of like rank, right? Like you're descending, so this is like a separation. So first it starts with a separation of people, so the sovereign over the, what do they call them, the subjects. So this is like step one. Then there becomes discord, a disagreement because of that separation, and then we rebel. So she's kind of like a little bit threatening, right? This is what's happening. We're already in the dissensions part. We're getting to the discord part. We're about to rebel, right? All right, remind me that once we get there, we'll get to that part. All right, good job, y'all. So we're going to use this as our warm-up. So when I have a question tomorrow, I'm going to walk you through a question. But we're going to always use this document in order to answer our questions.